Hello everyone and welcome back to the Awesome Channel. Today we're going to be talking about an organization called Send Relief and how they're responding to the crisis of Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, and the Southeast Bahamas. Send Relief is an organization that is part of the Southern Baptist Convention. It is basically our disaster relief branch that Southern Baptist Disaster Relief is a little bit different, but it works closely in connection with Send Relief. Send Relief provides food and humanitarian response to disasters and other things like that. And currently they are working with the countries that were devastated by the hurricane, and they are asking for specific prayers. In this hurricane, houses were destroyed, hospitals, schools many of them were completely demolished. There's massive flooding everywhere. And right now there's a lot of contaminated water. People don't have clean water to drink, and so our teams are trying to respond by giving water filters that can provide clean water and give people things to drink. But right now we're going to look at some of the things that Send Relief is specifically asking for. Says, pray for local churches and pastors as they serve their neighbors in crisis. So there are actually local churches and pastors in these places who are, even in the midst of their own devastation, they are trying to reach people for the gospel and support their communities. They're trying to help those who were severely devastated by this storm. We also want to pray for trained volunteers standing ready to respond. So in many of these places, we're not allowed to get in just yet because it's too dangerous. Our volunteers can't go in until there has been some work done that it is safe for them to enter these areas. So we want to pray for those volunteers who are preparing to go when it's time, so they can do cleanup, they can provide feeding services, and they can do chaplaincy, talking to people who have been traumatized by this disaster. We also want to pray for the quick restoration of homes, power, and access to clean water. Now, these people, they need shelter, they need electricity, and they need water. Water is very, very important, and right now they don't really have any, which is why it's so important that we get filters to them. And we also want to pray that Christ's compassion and hope would shine brightly through his people. Even in the midst of disaster, Christ can be seen. We go to do disaster relief in these countries because we know that Christ cares about these people. In spite of the disaster, they need Jesus, and we want to be the hands and feet of Jesus. And so when we go into these areas, we have opportunities to share the gospel with hurting people. And so our teams from Send Relief and Southern Baptist Disaster Relief are going into these areas, and they are able to help these people restore their lives and shine the gospel of Christ into their hearts. And so we need to be praying for them that as they go, they are able to share the gospel, and the people's hearts are ready to receive the gospel, because that's the only thing that can really give them hope in this horrible situation for them. And so we want to be praying for that significantly. So these are the things that you can be praying. If you need a list of things to pray for and you want to investigate more about Hurricane Melissa, you can go to sendrelief.org, and that will provide you with the prayer list and also ways that you can give or help in other ways, because there's always ways that we can help. So keep praying for Hurricane Melissa, and I'll see you next time. Bye.